Williamson is 10 times the world champion. Bax and Stupilis, they've done it again. Unbelievable. Marvin van Luckenen certainly deserves the red plate. And what an incredible sport this is. Fast, high and spectacular. Unbelievable.
So the 15-second board has gone, 5-second board now is up. We're waiting for this gate to drop.
Just watch it there, the gate's down and away they go. That was ultra quick, that caught us by surprise. It certainly caught some of them back, and it's Stuart Brown in third place. Stuart Brown in third. Van Luckenen got a cracker as well. Stuart Brown went a little bit wide, but it's Arne Djerkens. Arne Djerkens and Robbie Bax leading the number 10 crew. So it's Belgian-Dutch pairing out in front. Arne Djerkens and Robbie Bax, who were going so well in qualifying yesterday, lead round the first. Davy Sanders has gone with them. Where's Van Luckenen? Was he there? I can see Stuart Brown struggling round that bend at the bottom. Such a good start Stuart Brown made, but there he is in about 4th or 5th place, it looks like.
Yeah, he has Bax just in behind him there as they drop down these first two big leaps down to the bottom end of the circuit. That's Compilati and Chopin, the number 18 machine.
Cracking start for them.
Then you have Valentin Giraud in 4th. 5th place, there is Davy Sanders, then the first left-hand chair of Stuart Brown, then Bax in behind him, the number 82.
There's Stuart Brown then, and Josh Chamberlain. Marvin van Luckenen in 2nd place at the moment behind Arne Djerkens. The championship leader just by 10 points coming here to the Czech Republic. The number 82 carrying the red plate, which denotes that he is the series leader. Etienne Bax came here as walking wounded last year, going past on the inside of Stuart Brown, relegating him down 1 place. The left-hand chair finding it difficult to get the traction up there. Out in front though is Arne Djerkens, Robbie Bax, Marvin van Luckenen, Ben van den Bogart going with him. Those two then now easing away, the crowd urging them on. Well, this track is in better condition than I thought it was going to be.
Especially when we tipped up this morning, I was expecting a bit of a mud fest, but we didn't have that much rain as promised overnight, so the conditions are dry underneath, so we should be in for some cracking racing. As we said earlier on, the right-hand chairs will have the advantage for these first few laps, but hopefully the circuit will come back to the left-hand chair of Stuart Brown.
In 3rd place then, it is Zeno Compilati. 4th place, it's Valentin Giraud. Then it's Davy Sanders. Then it's Etienne Bax behind Davy Sanders. We have the beauty of timing screen here, so we can tell you what's happening electronically as they go over the line as well, which is great stuff. But it's visual at the front. Arne Djerkens, Marvin van Luckenen looking over the shoulder to see where Bax was. He's already in a position where he will negate that 10-point advantage if things stay the way they are. And he's going to make sure they not only stay the way they are, but improve if at all possible. But he's chasing Arne Djerkens, who, come on, let's say it, he's no slouch, is he?
He's certainly no slouch, and Marvin will possibly want to try and get in front of Arne to try and bridge the gap and try and make as much ground on Bax as he possibly can.
Let's have a look then. Etienne Bax and Kasper Stupilis are in 6th place at the moment. Let's see what they can do and how quickly they can negate this disadvantage. Marvin van Luckenen and Ben van den Bogart now closing. I'm even seeing a bit of dust popping up from down in the rut. They're digging out the loose stuff. Look at the way they go up over the tabletop. This is eminently rideable now, this track, isn't it? I'm amazed.
It is really rideable, and there is lots of grip out there. As I said earlier on, underfoot it is very, very hard underneath. So hopefully everything can stay this way and we can have some cracking racing.
Well, interesting stuff. The Czech Grand Prix is on here, looking at the inside. Marvin van Luckenen almost alongside Arne Djerkens. Djerkens is going to have to really focus here and get the hammer down, but he's got a very, very quick and determined reigning champion behind him in the shape of Marvin van Luckenen, who's looking down as though he had a gear selection problem there. Briefly, I'm not sure.
So either that,
rock in there.
Either that, or he was just trying to get out of the roost to try and protect his goggles. He's going to go for the inside line here. He's going to know he backtailed that one. He thought about dropping up into the inside. here yesterday was very, very rough. Again, you see him trying to get the drive.
He lost time there. He definitely lost time there. Jerkins looking, he knows he's chasing. Compilati, I have to say, hats off to you, sir. You are going very, very well indeed.
And it doesn't look as though Bax is making any ground on anybody at the moment. So while these two are fighting out the front, and with Compilati in between them, Bax has got a lot of work to do.
Well, the gap at the moment, 8.7 seconds, the deficit. So let's keep an eye on that column there, because that is going to tell us whether he's closing them in.
Yeah. I think Marvin needs to get past Arne as soon as he possibly can, just to try and get this gap up. There's Compilati going through, Giro goes through, Davy Sanders backs through. Couldn't quite see who that was.
Stuart Brown dropping back.
Yeah.
Kern Hermans, I think.
Yes, Hermans.
Lucas Churn is in there as well, which is great news. So Arne Jerkins is doing Etienne Bax something of a favour here, because while these two are tussling up the front, they could stand a chance of tripping each other up. Certainly Marvin van Lukene is being put in the position of having to look for an alternative line. And if he does that, then it could cost him, it could work, it's a gamble. Whatever he does, it's a gamble. At the moment, he's playing follow the lead.
And the trouble is as well, the track that they're actually using is not that wide. As soon as you go off the line, you go into slight sloppy stuff, or a little bit of deep dirt or something, and that's where you lose your time.
Well, they're going to watch with interest. He's also getting terribly filled in, which will be unpleasant. They've got tear-offs and they've got roll-offs on their goggles, which means they can move it across and get a clear bit of plastic film. Look at that jump, he's on the inside now. But no, Jerkins has got the right line there. This is where Van Lukene, if he's not careful, is going to get bogged down.
He certainly needs to change his line there. He needs to take Arne Jerkins' line.
Yeah, but he can't, because he's in it.
Yeah.
You know, that's the problem. The frustration, though, but he knows very, very well. But Jerkins, I'm impressed. Jerkins is now forcing on here. Like I say, over 25 kilometres of this going. You have to be unbelievably physically fit to drive, and especially to passenger at this level. It is staggeringly tiring. Mental strength as well, and you and I both know that.
Yes, the mental strength is a big part of this game. These boys are fit athletes. In fact, I think these are possibly one of the fittest athletes you will ever see.
Look at Compilati, the Italian, there in third. Right with him, Giro going well. Davy Sanders and Etienne Bax is now right on their case. Let's have a look. Yeah, that gap has come down. No, it hasn't. It's gone up. It's now 9.12. So the race leader is getting away from Etienne Bax, who's got himself bogged down there in that battle for third, fourth, fifth and sixth place. Meanwhile, the two at the front are making hay while the sun shines. Well, metaphorically, because we've got no sun at the... Oh, that's a beautiful lift over there. He's on it.
He certainly is. He's looking very good. He's looking confident. He's a confident young lad, young Arne Jerkins. He showed some true potential the latter part of last year. This year, of course, in with Robbie Bax in the sidecar with him is a great help.
Well, Jerkins has not had a win this year. Giro's had a win. Veldman, who's not here, has had a win. Hermans has had a win, and Bax has had 3 wins. So he's on a hat trick. But he's not got... Oh,
he's going to go the inside. It's got him this time.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the opportunity. Yeah. Van Lukene on the inside line, and he's stolen a march now on Arne Jerkins and Robbie Bax. He knew what he had to do. He had to go for it. And that, Steve, was about bravery off that trump.
Yeah. Yeah, you could see him set himself up. He'd had a look at it a couple of laps before, then had gone for it this time. So now will Marvin van Lukenen make the gap larger between himself and Bax as they drop down towards the bottom end of the circuit? This right hand off camber, very difficult in these conditions because it's very slippery underneath. As you see the rear wheel come out, Ben moving back across to get the drive at the back wheel.
Double winner here last year, so he likes the track. Whatever. Oh, that is spectacular. He's a good kid, there's no doubt about that. And Ben van den Bogart, probably one of the most, well, he's certainly one of the most experienced and one of the most intelligent passengers around as well.
He certainly is. Yeah, he certainly is. know, with 4 world titles under his belt, he's got a lot of knowledge, and that does help. And now you can see this. The crew's backing up behind the Italian Compilati, so you have Davy Sanders, Bax.
Bax has gone up 1 place, so Bax has gone past Hermans and is now on the back wheel of Sanders. There's Kern Hermans, Nicolas Mousset, relegated by Etienne Bax and Casper Stupilis, the number 82 crew carrying the red plate. Ahead of them, Davy Sanders, and once past him, he and Larry Kunas. Then they've got the Italian Compilati, who, with the greatest of respect him, will be relatively easy fodder for Bax once he gets in his stride.
Yes, I think so, yeah. So as they come up the start straight again, there's Davy Sanders. Bax there in the middle of the sandwich between himself and Hermans as they come around this bold turn at the top of the circuit, drop down this little drop, down into this nasty left-hander, which yesterday was completely underwater. So it looks as though they were riding submarines at one stage.
Yeah, I wondered, Steve, the organisers have done some pretty good work overnight, you know, with this. Whether they pumped it off or whether they drained it, I've no idea. But there's Hermans. Hermans now still going with Bax. He's almost got second wind. Compilati, Sanders in the blue. Etienne Bax, Casper Stupilis there. Stupilis hanging on for grim death. Behind him, Kern Hermans. So now we've got an 8 plus a 12 wheeler. I was going to say an 8 where Bax looking for the inside. Is Bax going to get the power down on the inside of Sanders? That was a tricky move. I understand why he did it, but he could easily have tripped himself up there.
He certainly could, and I think that's about the only place that you will try get an overtake, possibly into this corner and get the driver up the hill, up into this big ski jump. But I think it's possibly the only place they could overtake each other is down into that right-hander. There's Compilati there still in front, Davy Sanders, Bax.
Compilati's doing a cracking job. I know I keep on about it, but this year he's really grown in stature in the championship and has been starting well, has been running strongly, and all power to his Italian elbow is what I say. Good luck to him. Away they go then. Still Etienne Bax looking for that elusive place past Davy Sanders, and then he gets Sanders go through. Sanders through on Compilati. Sorry, Steve.
That's okay. Yeah, it was a cracking move. He just lined him up coming into that right-hander there, just dived up the inside and pushed Compilati off the line. Now Bax can smell the Italian's aftershave, will be after him up this start straight as we come behind us into this top left-hander. Very, very quick up through here.
That was my line. You should have said the Prosecco. There he goes. Bax then, right with Zeno Compilati. Got to be able to find a way through here. He's going to try that line. We know it's rough up there because Marvin van Luken has struggled up there. Bax is probably thinking, hey, up, Sanders or Hermans are going to come back at me. Hermans, Bax on the inside now, alongside, neck and neck they go, and he's going there, just been squeezed out by Zeno Compilati. This is fantastic racing by the Italian. Really, really strong performance. And we are only, goodness me, in the early stages of this race. Still a long, long way to go before we get the 2-lap board. Here's Bax again, trying that move. This time he'll make it stick, gets the power on. No way!
The Italian shuts the door in Bax's face. So will Bax try again down to the bottom end of the circuit over these couple of little tabletops into a left-hander, and then they come up this big climb to this big ski jump.
I reckon his only chance is down those 2 long jumps where Van Luken took the lead from Arno Djerkins. This is damage limitation for Etienne Bax at the moment, because out in front in a 25-point position,
Bax will go for the inside.
Rival. Here he goes.
Bax will go inside here. Yeah. Compilati had to back out of that. Bax knew where he was going. Casper Stupilis just waves a hand at Compilati to say thank you. So now Compilati has Hermans, the Sandmeister, behind him with Nicolas Mousset in the chair, the Frenchman.
Job done, then.
And he goes inside him, drops inside him there, just straight. Sat up the young French passenger. So Hermans up a spot as well.
Compilati going backwards, but not before he'd given a good account of himself. So over the line this time. Van Lukene goes over. Arne Djerkens, let's see what the gap is to Etienne Bax, who last time over the line in 4th place. He is now 17 seconds the gap. So now he's really got to do something special. Valentin Giraud going strongly in 7th place at the moment, just ahead of Stuart Brown. Lucas Czerny, the Czech, the fastest of the local riders, is in 9th place behind Stuart Brown, ahead of Gert van Verven and Peter Bunk. But you are watching now a superb display by the race leaders and the reigning champion.
Yeah, now all Marvin really has to do is try and ride his board. Basically, he will watch his pit board every time he comes past the box. The guys will be over the fence with the chalkboard telling him how far and what distance he has between him and Djerkens, and also possibly let him know where Bax is. So as we watch Djerkens then come up this climb, you can see how rough it is. Hit this ski jump, not jumping as far as they would in the dry conditions, into this big bold turn, right-handed, as they drop away onto the right-hand side there. You see the guys with the pit board.
And there are 2 aspects of that, Steve, as well. You know, it's all very well jumping when there's a big rut, but you don't know what you're going to land in. If you're not rut perfect, you're in trouble. Yeah,
and the last thing you want to do is one of these machines is get them cross-rutted on takeoff, because that would not be very pretty.
Number 10 then, Arne Djerkens and Robbie Bax, younger brother of the number 82, chasing Etienne Bax, Series leader. And in 2nd place, Arne Djerkens is over the top. Then it's Davy Sanders pursuing as hard as he can the number 9 Belgian. Larry Kunas, his Finnish passenger, rode last year with his brother Riku. Now he's teamed up with Sanders, and this pairing, the veteran Sanders, a very experienced Davy Sanders, is a class act, there's no doubt about it.
Certainly is, and as a young man, he's only just into his 20s, so he's got a lot to go.
So he's a veteran.
Yeah.
I stand correct. You know what I was thinking of? Santamans.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at the timing screen here. Bax is slightly quicker than Sanders, so he should make this gap, or take this gap up fairly quickly, but then how much can he gain on the leading pair?
I think he will. I think he will, with a clear track ahead of him, given his own game to play. He knows what he's capable of, and he can pick his lines, and he's now on it, you can tell. He is really, really going for it now. And if he close down Davy Sanders, tail enders ahead of him.
And that's the other thing as well, we will start to come into tail enders after maybe another 3 or 4 laps. So.
That's the Muller-Hoffmeyer outfit, the number 354.
And Hermans is managing to hang on to Bax's shirt tails here.
Well, we know what Hermans is capable of as well, and he also knows that if he goes with Bax, it's going to go somewhere special. You know, stay with him and you won't go wrong.
No, that's right, and that's the best thing to do. If you're fairly close to Bax and stay within sight of Bax, that's not a bad thing. And of course, when you come across back markers, you need, it'd be nice if you clear everybody together.
49, that's a shame for the Reisner-Ayer pairing, the Estonians, but they fired up and they're away again. 54 crew went through.
And looks as though Valentin Giraud is just coming up to the back of Compilati now, so Giraud will be trying to get past the Italian-French pairing in front of him.
Oh, he's climbing all over it. His body language is saying everything as well. Just look at Giraud. Giraud and Andres Haller, his young German passenger, having tasted success already with victory in the sand. And there he goes. He's on the inside. Giraud's on that inside line, the one we know that works. There's a bit of contact, but he pushes him out of the way. Compilati, adios amigo, that's Spanish, but arrivederci, he says, I am through. Giraud going well, consistently well this year. Mega Power, new two-stroke Mega, Austrian built, as opposed to Zabel, which is the traditional two-stroke power unit in these outfits. And so far in this race, and I'm looking desperately to touch a bit of wood, I've found some. So far, touch wood, it's been reliable. Let's pray that continues for the Frenchman, because he deserves a break.
Yeah, he certainly does. Unfortunately, he's had a little bit of bad luck over the years and this year also, but hopefully the speeds aren't that high. They're still going quick here, but it's still not too high speed.
Kurt Varick and Loris Diders, the number 7 crew, in 14th place, so they're in the points. Not as many points as they'd like, and not having the best season this year. Kurt Varick had some strong rides last year and finished up in that resultant position in the World Championship, so you can see that he would like to be going better than he's going at the moment. Compilati now still circulating. Compilati in 6th place behind Kern Hermans, 7th place now behind Valentin Giraud. Giraud having relegated him, as we saw. Let's have a look at the gap. Van Luken has gone through. So what's the gap back to Bax? I'm waiting. 16.62 seconds. He's taken 3 seconds out of him. 3 seconds out of him. We still have 10 minutes to go before we get the 2-lap flag. So Bax is on a charge. Is it on? Come on, let's have a tenner on the table. Is it on?
If I was a betting man, I'd take you on, but yes, that is a big gap to take, and here we saw earlier on, it's not that easy to pass. If you go off a line, you take the chance of getting stuck or something happening, so you really do need to try and stay on the racing line.
Well, Kelly De Bruyne in 23rd place is still on the same lap as the race leader at the moment. Not for long, methinks. There is the race leader, Marvin van Luken and Ben van den Bogart, with their Zabel motor pulling beautifully. They've been faithful to the Zabel brand. It's worked for them. They took the World Championship up. Look at the ruts. Look at the ruts, the way out they're digging out. What we've got, Steve, now is we've got these tram lines with hard, and there are lots of stones around in this place as well.
Yes, I noticed that yesterday when we were walking around. There is a lot of stones that are starting to show themselves, that with the rain would have washed all the soil off the top, so they become prominent. Most of these guys will run mousses instead of tubes, which you shouldn't get a puncture. The only thing that could happen with a rear wheel or a front wheel is the mousse break up inside.
Which is, I think we should maybe explain, a mousse is a sort of a variable soft rubber compound, which is a filling inside the tyre, which substitutes the air. Is there no air at all with the mousse? Is it mousse only?
It's just a mousse only. It's a fairly hard rubber compound that they put into the tyre. They are very difficult to get into a tyre, but once they are in, and they last about a month, but you still have to keep taking them out and lubricating them.
Yeah, because they chafe, and yeah, I understand that.
And then that's where you get your problems. They heat up and then they break up.
And presumably there are different textures of them to simulate different pressure changes.
You have you can get different compounds, or what some of them do is they start to cut them down to make them smaller, or they cut pieces and put them into them to make them larger.
Clever stuff. Now let's watch the progress of the red-shirted Etienne Bax and Kasper Stupelis, who are right on the back wheel now of Davy Sanders and Larry Kunas. They are closing down. Can they go for that inside line? Well, certainly Davy Sanders will be on it when they get down the bottom of the hill. Here we come to that right-hander. He's going to chuck it in here. Where's Sanders going to go? Here's Bax holding it tight. No, he's not. He's taking the sensible option, the tried and tested route round the outside, because right behind him is Kern Hermans, who's got second wind, not giving an inch. The number 2 Kern Hermans and Nicolas Mousset. They are on it, absolutely, but Bax now is on Davy Sanders. He's closing. Is it this lap or next lap?
Possibly this lap. I would think he'll try and dive in up the inside of him. He's come to the outside of the chair here, and he'll go down the inside and try and outbrake him into this corner. But the trouble is, there are lots of back markers in front, and Arnie Dirkens is there in front, so Bax unfortunately missed a chance there.
Yeah, but it'll come, won't it? That chance will come. Bax is on it, I'm sure.
And Dirkens is there in front of this little pack as well, so they've come across a back marker right at the wrong time, and Dirkens is there with Davy Sanders And then Bax.
This could be second place for Bax very shortly. This could be second place.
This, yeah, we have, what, 5 minutes plus 2 laps to go, so there's another maybe 4 laps to go till the checkered flag comes out.
Well, I reckon it's on. He's certainly in a position now where if he does one more place, he won't lose his 10-point lead. It'll be whittled down, it'll be significantly reduced. But we are going to see the best of Etienne Bax, I promise you, in the next 2 laps.
And again, coming across back markers in front.
He's tried that inside line, which almost cost him.
And Hermans is there as well, so you have 4 top players there, all in a bunch.
Oh boy, this is really, really exciting stuff, folks. The battle you're watching now is for second place, basically. Arne Dierkens is at the front of the queue. From Davy Sanders, then that man, number 82, Etienne Bax. So right behind him, it's Koen Hermans. There's Koen Hermans, as close as he's been now for a long time. Where's Bax going to go? He's got to go tight here this time. Surely he's got to go tight and try and get underneath Davy Sanders. No way.
The trouble is in that corner, they're not quite getting enough drive to make that stick. You've got to be alongside.
And they've got a tail ender ahead of Arne Dierkens.
It looks like Lagermatt, looks like young Lagermatt with Van Gaal in the chair, and of course they've got nowhere to go.
No,
absolutely nowhere to go.
And they're doing a job. Etienne Bax is doing everything he can because he knows Koen Hermans is breathing down his neck. In fact, Koen Hermans is alongside, over the jump, side by side, almost. Is Hermans going to go up the inside? Sorry to cut across you, mate.
That's okay, yeah, and Hermans goes for the inside. No, not this time, not quite close enough. Of course, now this back marker is in between Dierkens and Sanders.
Not now. Sanders is by him. Bax has got to get by him as well as quickly as possible, and he's going to go around that outside line.
Trying to get inside.
Oh, great stuff. Oh dear, Kasper Stupelis had to sit up then to avoid getting hooked on the handlebar. Steve's had a coughing fit. Go and have a lie down. You'll be fine, mate. It's absolutely breathtaking stuff. We thought today was going to be tricky after the way the circuit was chopped up. I tell you what, not so. That is Lagermatt, yeah, Tom Lagermatt. But what a fight he's put up as well, getting in among the top. There's Kelly De Bruyne in there, isn't there?
No, that's Davy Sanders. That's
yeah.
Sanders, and the Bax again goes for this inside line, but just can't seem to get the drive back up the hill into this right-hander.
Fantastic stuff. He's right on the back of Sanders. Arne Dierkens now has eked out a little advantage in second place. The gap to the leader, let's see what it is. It's going to be huge because Van Luckenen now has had the opportunity to get away while these guys have been fighting between themselves. But the very best that Etienne Bax can do now, I think, is get his way through to second place. That is a tall order. He's right behind Davy Sanders and can't find a way past Davy Sanders, and therein lies the problem.
Well, Mikey Hodges for getting out of the way there of these front runners. So Davy Sanders now keeping his head. Bax will try everything in his playbook to try and get past this youngster. So again, you see him trying to drive up this climb, up to this big ski jump. Bike bucking and bucking underneath him.
At the right-hander, Dierkens goes round, Sanders goes round, Bax goes round. They're a bit strung out again now. Koen Hermans seemingly dropped away just a little bit. Yes, he has. Koen Hermans getting hooked up with the back marker and has lost touch with this trio ahead of him. Etienne Bax trying absolutely everything that he knows to get past. That's where he's got to be. He's got to be in second place.
He can't afford to let Marvin get too far in front of him. And of course, I know.
Right. How many points for fourth? How many points for fourth?
I'll work it out.
Is it 25, 22? So at the moment, Van Luckenen is in a 25-point position. Bax is in a what point position?
I will get my assistant to work it out.
Well, it's not rocket science, it's in the rules, but I can't
25, 22, 20, 18 for fourth.
18 points, so he will give away 7 points to the leader. The gap at the end of this, if it stays the way it is, will be 3 points. And that is a significant reduction in the 10-point advantage he had when he came to this event. So he knows that better than I. We've been working it out with a bit of paper and a pencil. He knows in his head what he's got to do. And Etienne Bax is going to have a go now at Davy Sanders. It'll be this lap, and it's got to be this lap because we are seconds away from the 2-lap board coming out. It's got to be this lap, Etienne. Now or never time, baby.
And also now I know that Bax and Stupilis just wear tear-offs. They don't wear a rip and roll system. So is he going to be running out of laminates or tear-offs before the end of the race and start to get filled in? Which, being at close
there
quarter,
goes one.
yeah,
there goes one. Just pulled one off there.
And being this close quarters, you're going to get filled in, and you're going to be pulling those tear-offs on a regular basis.
They are trying everything. Kasper Stupilis getting his way. Kern Hermans has closed again. So Hermans is coming back in on Etienne Bax again, who is still stranded there in 4th place.
So again, Arne Dirkens in the front of this trio, riding really, really well with Robbie Bax in the chair. And it looks as though Hermans is starting to come back to this trio.
He is, no doubt about it. Yeah, it's going to be a 4-way. It's going to be a 12-wheeler again in a minute. A 4-way scrap. Hermans absolutely covered and well and truly filled in. Arne Jerkins goes through. They are in 2nd place. Davy Sanders goes through. He's in 3rd. They're Bax in 4th, dropping back as well. And right with him, Kern Hermans, who smells a bit more success here and a few more points. Oh, my goodness me, this is unbelievable. Hermans came here 4th in the championship on 103. Willemsen, who's not even featuring because he fought up, he's in 11th place now, Daniel Willemsen. We've not even mentioned him, but he's fought up from a 2nd row place into 11th. Meanwhile, this goes on here. 2 laps to go then. They are on the penultimate lap. I said it was now or never time last time round, but Etienne Bax knows he's got to do something special now.
He's got to really do something special, but again, as I said earlier on, with the tear-off system, has he run out of laminates? You know, but he's got to be really up close to Davy Sanders' shirt tails so he can literally smell his aftershave and then pounce.
Whatever he's run out of, he hasn't run out of ideas, that's for sure, because he's looking right and left. He's trying a different line now up the hill. Arne Jerkins punching his way through the ruts. I'd have to say credit to Arne Jerkins. What a good ride for him if he brings it home where he is.
Considering the accident that he had in the Nations latter of last year was a pretty horrific accident. It's fair play to see this young man out here fit and healthy and riding like he does. So as they come up towards this last little tabletop before they drop up this left-hand climb up into the start straight then for their final lap.
Bax is trying everything. It's now or never time, literally, because this is the climb up over the brow of the hill. They will come, here they are, and at the front of it, Arne Jerkins, there's a tail ender in there, but he's getting respectfully out of the way, I think.
That's Cooch, Copps, and that's Marvin there. So Copps just in front of back marker, just in front of Marvin there again. And you see how rough it is getting offline, and that's unfortunately it's very difficult.
25 seconds is advantage, so he'll know that. He won't be risking anything here.
No, the last thing you need to do is try and drop offline and unfortunately get it stuck. But it's one line round here, and it's very difficult, but he has enough of a gap. He can just sit there and just make sure he brings this machine home.
Marvin van Luckenen, Ben van den Boogaard, we are with them on the final lap. The #1 crew.
He will be happy with this result. Again, Koch still sat in the way, still can't get out of the way, and has not got out of the way. So where's the blue flags?
Well, there were blue flags further around the circuit, and I could see the back marker there, the number 98 crew, wave him through.
Yeah.
So Van Lukenen now 2 more corners, 1 little tabletop, then the left-hander, the tricky little left-hander. Thumbs up you can see there from the appreciative crowd. This is going to be victory. 3 victories in a row here at Kramolin for Marvin Van Lukenen, Ben van den Bogart. Let's see, as they come over, we'll be looking for Arne Djerkens, the number 10. And they're all out here, they're all chasing through. Still Bax is in that position.
Yeah, so next one over should be Arne Djerkens. Fantastic ride for second. Davy Sanders for third, Bax for 4, and 5th is Hermans.
Well, he's still got the championship lead. Great runner-up spot for Arne Djerkens and Robbie Bax.
That'll do his confidence
It will.
a lot of good.
There you can see.
So that's the top 4. Should be Valentin Giraud next through in 6th. We should wait for the first left-hand chair, which is Stuart Brown, Josh Chamberlain, the first left-hand chair through for 7th place.
Well, not too shabby, that.
Certainly not. Next through should be Zino Compilati for 8th. Fantastic ride for the young Italian.
I agree. That was a good effort. There he goes, over the line. Compilati.
Gert van Werven.
Which, good ride. And let's hear a word, I think, from the race winner.
So Marvin, congratulations, you won it. How difficult was it to find a good line to overtake Arne?
Yeah, it was not so easy. The track is still very wet. There is just only 1 line, but yeah, we can pass him, and it was very good for the rest of the race then. And yeah, we lead all the race after we pass Arne, and yeah, we look forward to the second race.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Williamson is 10 times the world champion. Bax and Stupilis, they've done it again. Unbelievable. Marvin Van Lukenen certainly deserves the red plate. And what an incredible sport this is. Fast, high and spectacular. Unbelievable.